Hello everyone, it's me, Evil, for my review of episode 1 of Solo Leveling. Yeah. I tried to make a reaction video for this as well, but that's cooked. I'm not gonna try again. The copyright is so hard to avoid, and for some reason, they've made it proc from basically anything, so I decided, you know what, it's not worth it. I'm not gonna try for my channel. It's better if I don't try to it's better if I don't get copyrighted, right? So I decided, yeah, I'm just gonna make a review, normal review, without the music and everything. So I've read this manga before in like 2019 or something like that. At that time it was not complete yet, and I know nowadays it is like finished, right? And unfortunately the artist also passed away. Not the author, but the artist. So really unfortunate. Oh, I guess I should say manhwa, because I think it's Korean. Which is why the names in this series are pretty hard to remember, because yeah, it's Korean names and they are pretty long, pretty weird. So I don't know how people do it. You need to remember like 3 parts to a name. Like, that's a lot harder than remembering Bob, Like, you can remember Bob pretty fast. Yeah, so the animation was looking pretty crispy. Of course, the manga for Solo Leveling, it's famous for how good its art is. Even if the story maybe is sometimes a little one-dimensional, like the art makes up for it. And I think at least for this episode it was keeping up with the manga or manhwa in terms of the art. Obviously manhwa, it's, yeah, the still pictures, they can be more detailed, but this did the job very well. And now, what is this world about? So Solo Leveling, the premise is that there are like monsters in these dungeons, and you need to raid the dungeon, or the monsters are going to like roam free or invade the earth or something like that. And then these special people awaken their powers. They become like monster hunters. Reminds me a lot about Hunter x Hunter, by the way, with the way that these monsters are like awakening, and then you need to hunt them and everything. But in Hunter x Hunter we never really see the monsters getting hunted, right? It's a bit different in that way. But yeah, we see the monsters. Yeah, and when the hunter awakens, they can never increase the amount of like magic or the type of magic they have. So like you have a set power level for the characters, normally. I think you can figure out what the name Solo Leveling means, right? Solo and leveling. So, in the first episode here we meet the party of the main character. The main character is the weakest hunter in the world. He's a total scrub. And like his party, like they are happy to see him, because that means that this dungeon is safe, because he's a scrub that only goes to the sitter dungeons. Which, like, there are hunters from E tier to S tier, E, D, C, B, A, and S, and then the dungeons as well. And this girl, she's a B rank. I don't remember her name. I think the main character is called Sang, or something like that. I should check what the main character is called. Sang Jin Woo. Yeah, okay, I do recognize that name. Sang Jin Woo. So he's the main character, and he's so poor because he's barely able to defeat any monsters, because like he goes to the weakest raids and he's barely able to defeat the weakest monster in those dungeons. So like he's living life on hard mode, and personally if I was him, I would go to work at McDonald's, because that sounds a lot better. Because does he even have like a magical power? I guess he's like enhancing his physical body a little bit or something. And that's it. And this girl, she's a healer. So she's barely able to heal. No, not barely. She's a B rank. So she's relatively strong. Probably like top 5% or something, right? And yeah, here's... he has this knife. When he goes into the dungeon, he tries fighting a goblin here. And this trash knife... okay, here. Okay, wait. Wait a second, I'm gonna crop it a bit. Crop / pad, yep. And now I'm gonna crop it by 100 at the bottom. Oh, that's actually pretty good, because you don't see the stuff there anyway. Alright, and do you see the subtitles? Oh, I'm a genius actually. Oh wait, this is already mirrored. Wait. Alright, let's continue. I was screwing around a bit. But basically, his knife is so trash that it actually breaks from hitting the goblin. Like, imagine having something so bad. Yeah, so he blocks the goblin's knife, and he's like barely able to do it, right? And then, like, he manages to get into a position, and he was able to. I was thinking, like, nice, he has a knife at least. But this knife is so trash that it just breaks from one attack onto a goblin. Imagine how trash your weapon needs to be for it to not even be useful for that. Like, you block once and it just breaks. Yeah, so he's having it rough. He almost dies fighting this thing because his weapon broke and the goblin was able to get a hit on him. So, thankfully, he had this healer girl and she was able to stop him from bleeding to death. And by the way, like every time a monster dies, they drop a crystal, you know, and probably some loot as well. So people are able to like make money from it, and also it's used as a renewable energy source. Because the dungeons just keep on spawning in, so you just can keep on farming these shards and tada, society, you get free power. And actually we see that he's fighting to fund his family, because his mom is in the hospital and his sister needs money for her tuition or something like that, you know, to pay for her college. So that's why he's fighting. It's kinda generic, but it works. Like, you just need to have a reason for him to go into these dungeons, right? So, he's making some money for them. Alright, so the party that he's on, like, they are able to defeat the rest of the dungeon with the actual enemies, right? He was fighting the scrubs and these things are the actual enemies, like that was the first wave and he almost died to that. Also this is an... were there F grade dungeons? I don't know. I think this was a D grade, right? Yeah, I think this one was a D grade and then there are also F grades. So, a secret passageway opens and they will do a vote on if they should go in there or not. It is even, but the MC decides to vote to go in because he doesn't want to hold other people back and stuff with his fears, so they decide to go. But after walking for 40 minutes, they realize, or they find... Oh, I should mention this. Randomly this girl appeared. She reminded me of Noblesse, the way that the characters in that show would like move around and look. So it has very Noblesse vibes on her. She stopped a theft, so I think she's a pretty decent guy, or girl I guess. And she's mentioned to be S grade, so I'm just trying to remember how she looks. I think she's gonna be relevant at some point. And also this part reminds me of One Punch Man, with the like leader of the like organization recruiting new hunters that have recently awakened. So that's how they are able to recruit people. This all started 10 years ago, so it's really new. So I imagine most people don't have it figured out yet. But because it is Korea, of course it became a bureaucratic mess, right? And there are also guilds, like you would have in video games, for the raids. But okay, they enter this massive chamber in the secret dungeon, secret second part of the dungeon. And personally, when I saw that massive door, I would not go in. Because what kind of a goblin is going to be living behind that door? It's not going to be a goblin, you know? And sure enough, it was a massive fucking weeping angel statue. That's also God. And it has 3 commandments that you need to follow. The first one is like, you need to bow, and the other 2 I haven't figured out yet, but it's something similar to that. So, this thing is absolutely terrifying. And they think, oh yeah, we're kinda safe. But yeah, this thing is watching. She noticed it immediately. And this guy tried to leave from the door. And yeah, you can't leave from the door. The things are going to split you apart. Alright. And then if you don't bow, the main statue there in the front is going to absolutely vaporize you. Alright. So first step, You need to be on the ground. Yeah. And that's where this episode ends. So, about this world. I think it is very interesting. It has a very nice premise, and I definitely enjoy watching anime with this kind of design. Like, it reminds me of playing a video game, but you get like an actual story with it. And because of that, the actual plot doesn't need to be anything crazy. It just needs to be good. And I enjoyed it, and I hope that this girl actually survives this. Because they went in here with a party, and I can tell the party is scrubs. Like, they are stronger than the main character, but still weak. So, their chances of surviving in anime are usually pretty low. So I hope they make it, for the sake of the girl. And my rating for this episode is going to be 8.5 out of 10. I think it is a pretty good first episode. Comparing it with the Dan first episode, it is worse, but it is still very good. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time on episode 2.